Right at the beginning, is the Labour government in crisis? Answer, absolutely yes. Is this a crisis likely to lead to a series of sackings and demotions?
Supposedly, this was the party that just didn't go there, but it turns out they do, and Rachel Reeves in particular, because she can't get out the stalls.
It started as a fiery debate in Parliament, the kind the UK political class had grown used to in recent months. The economy was under pressure, the media circus was in full swing, and tempers were flaring on both sides of the aisle. But no one, not even the most hardened political insiders, expected what happened next. In a moment that will be replayed for years to come, Rachel Reeves, the UK's shadow Chancellor of the Exchequer, completely lost control. And now, she's not just facing backlash, she's facing trial. The cameras were rolling, the House was full, and the tension was already thick. Reeves had been verbally sparring with the actual Chancellor, launching a passionate critique of the government's fiscal strategy.
Moderate Labour MPs are calling for Keir Starmer to sack Rachel Reeves, or he could be over, done, finished. Andrew, could Rachel Reeves really go over this?
That's when a voice cut across the benches. Not the Prime Minister's, not a Tory backbencher, but her own shadow cabinet colleague, one with whom she'd had rising tensions for weeks. Reports suggest it was a male member from the opposition who'd questioned her leadership, again, in what Reeves saw as a public betrayal. The comment wasn't audible to the public, but her reaction was. She stood up. Her voice trembled, not with fear, but with fury. And then, in front of stunned MPs, Reeves walked across the chamber and struck him with an open-fisted punch to the chest. Gasps, screams, audible confusion followed. The session was suspended. Security rushed in, and in the minutes that followed, Reeves disappeared behind closed doors, her career hanging by a thread. No one saw it coming, and yet many close to the shadow Chancellor say the signs had been there.
Right at the beginning, is the Labour government in crisis? Answer, absolutely yes. Is this a crisis likely to lead to a series of sackings and demotions?
She's been under enormous stress, one aide confided off the record. Between the media pressure, the economic briefings, and the growing factionalism in the Labour Party, it's been boiling up. But this was shocking.
Searching for, in terms of what they're going to do about it, is pretty much illusory, and now we're going to see more of the same. That's the worry, all this stuff.
It didn't take long for the footage to hit social media. In under an hour, the clip, grainy, angled awkwardly from the Commons press gallery, was everywhere. Millions watched the moment frame by frame. Did that really just happen? Became the dominant reaction, and then the backlash began. Downing Street condemned the incident swiftly, calling it wholly unacceptable behaviour unbefitting a senior member of Parliament. Even Labour's own leadership was forced to respond, issuing a carefully worded statement that expressed concern while stopping short of suspension, at least for the moment. But it was Reeves's emotional breakdown afterward that stunned the nation even more.
Why she thinks that she is right and 122 of her own colleagues are wrong.
Inside a press room later that evening, facing a sea of microphones and cameras, Reeves stood visibly shaken. Her voice cracked as she spoke. "I let anger take over," she admitted. "There's no excuse for what I did, and I accept full responsibility." Then the tears came, silent at first, but undeniably real. She turned from the podium before finishing her remarks. Her aides quickly guided her away. For a politician known for her composed, spreadsheet-precise persona, this was a collapse unlike anything the British public had ever seen.
Yeah, for sure. But this is the point that, again, a lot of politicians completely miss, and Labour are missing time and time again.
But the feelings about Rachel Reeves on the backbenches almost amount to hatred at the moment. They are really, really, really angry with her.
And for many, it raised deeper questions, not just about her actions, but about the growing volatility of UK politics itself. The Crown Prosecution Service later confirmed it was reviewing the incident for potential assault charges. It wasn't just a parliamentary scandal anymore. It was now a legal one. And with that, the story took an even more explosive turn. Tabloids had a field day. "Shadow slap," screamed one front page. Punch and Politics blared another, but behind the circus, there was a growing wave of sympathy. Has politics pushed its leaders too far? Is the pressure of constant scrutiny, endless public expectations, and internal betrayal simply too much for even the strongest to bear?
Mr. Speaker, British businesses have been hit again and again by Labour's economic mismanagement. They are desperate for certainty.
Some MPs rallied around Reeves. "We mustn't excuse violence," one Labour MP tweeted, "but we also can't ignore the emotional and psychological toll our system takes on those who carry the burden of leadership." But others weren't so forgiving. "She's not fit to lead," one Tory minister declared. If this was a male MP striking a female colleague, he'd already be in handcuffs.
Supposedly, this was the party that just didn't go there, but it turns out they do, and Rachel Reeves in particular, because she can't get out the stalls.
In a system already buckling under economic strain, immigration tension, and party infighting, the image of a weeping Rachel Reeves being escorted out of a press conference after physically lashing out at a colleague felt like the final crack in the dam. Now, the countdown begins. Her trial is expected to begin within weeks.
Starmer's denied this, but I mean, once you've said that,
It
it's
would
out
be
of
a
the bag,
very,
isn't it?
very stupid thing to do at this stage. Things are much too close to the edge, much too fragile to do that kind of thing.
And it was meant to damage, and that damage has absolutely been caused.
Yeah, 100%.
Legal experts suggest she may face a formal charge of common assault, a non-indictable offence, but one that could end her political career nonetheless. And even if she avoids jail time, the damage to her public standing may be irreversible. But there's another twist. According to insiders, Reeves has no plans to step down. Not yet. In private meetings with Labour leadership, she's reportedly vowed to make this right, framing her outburst as a terrible mistake, but not the end of my public service. Whether the public agrees remains to be seen, but one thing is certain. The image of a powerful woman brought to tears, not by defeat or scandal, but by her own uncontrollable emotions, has struck a nerve.
Yeah, I mean, I think Rachel Reeves is the architect of her own downfall, which I think is what you allude to, Mike.
Yes.
I mean, you know, she
want to blame everyone and everything but yourself. Do you not take any responsibility for the political decisions that you have made?
Not just politically, but culturally. Because in a world where politicians are expected to be cold, calculating, unflappable, Rachel Reeves showed something most politicians never dare: emotional collapse in front of the nation. And now she'll have to rebuild, not just her image, not just her party's trust, but her entire political legacy. Because from this moment on, she won't just be remembered as the shadow chancellor of the exchequer. She'll be remembered as the woman who snapped, broke down, and punched her way into infamy.